Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Extra Point. I'm your host, Jacob Serrano. Alongside me is Dan McClung. And today we have our guest star, Jack Crowell. How are you today, Jack?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, Jake?
I'm pretty good. All right, guys, let's get to our first segment.
Wait, before anything else, Jake, I think first we have to congratulate the Philadelphia Eagles on a great Super Bowl win over the New England Patriots. I also want to congratulate Mr. Miller, U.S. History 1 teacher here at Lacey High School, huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. So congratulations on seeing your team win their first Super Bowl in franchise history.
And speaking of the Eagles, I mean, the Patriots were also in that Super Bowl, and that's going to roll right into our first segment. Guys, Patriots lost that Super Bowl. For me, it was kind of they lost, but it was more of a defeat in their hearts. And I was thinking, how much longer will Tom Brady really play?
Well, I'm thinking Tom Brady said he was going to play till he's 45 years old. And as much as I don't believe that, I feel like he's not done yet. I feel like he's got 2, maybe 3 more years in him. But I feel like every time he steps back onto the field, he's going to be a contender for the Super Bowl. I feel like he's always a threat no matter how old he is. But I still only think 2 or 3 more years out of him.
You know, as a Jets fan, I personally am not a huge fan of Tom Brady, seeing him, usually beat us twice a year.
Yeah.
But he's a very good quarterback. He's very, very just, there's not much else to describe.
He's the GOAT, basically.
Yeah. I see him playing for, maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 more years. I don't see him getting to that 45 mark because I don't think any athlete has performed well at 45 years old.
Unless you're Brett Favre.
Or Yarmir Young.
Yeah, and the thing he said was, he said he wants to play as long as he feels he can play, and I honestly think he'll play for at least 2 more years. I can't really see this going on any longer. I mean, Father Time, he's defeated so far. I could see it like losing his grip, and he's just going to fall to Father Time.
The one thing, he does not like to get hit.
He doesn't.
Whenever he gets pressured in the pocket, it seems that he just falls down. He doesn't take the hit.
The thing about that is that rarely happens, though, for him.
It does, because their line is amazing.
I think, though, it's just going to be 2 more years, only because I feel like that loss, I feel like it's a loss of their building block. I feel like that's just they fell off, kind of, and something's off. They did lose Matt Patricia. And Josh McDaniels, they were going to lose him, but he came back, and I thought that was really weird, and that's going to go into our next question. How will the loss of Matt Patricia affect the Patriots?
Their defense is going to lose some pieces because Malcolm Butler is going to be a free agent. Their defense is going to be a lot weaker than it was last season. I think it seems like Bill Belichick is a defensive-minded coach. So that's obviously definitely going to play into, who they're going to get as their new defensive coordinator, even if they're going to have one. But I think I see it playing out as you're going to have Tom Brady as your quarterback. Most likely you're going to have Rob Gronkowski back, depending on what he wants to do with his career. Your offense is still going to be amazing if you're New England. So you're not going to have to focus on your defense that much.
I agree with what you're saying there. I feel like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they're the main duo in the New England Patriots organization. I feel like they're the biggest building blocks that are helping the Patriots to succeed, bring them to the Super Bowl. I feel like losing him isn't going to help at all, but at the same time, I just don't think that it's going to have as big of an impact as many people are expecting.
My theory on this is the Patriots defense for the first 4 weeks or so wasn't very good, but Matt Patricia was able to build that back up and kind of give him a starter, and kind of just push him forward, and they did a really good job with that. Matt Patricia's been with this team for a couple of years now, and I think this loss of this defensive coordinator, I feel like it's going to be a big part of something later on in the years that you're not going to see the Patriots as strong as usual. Patriots have been, this is the team to beat. I don't see that happening. There's one piece. I don't think it's just this one piece. I think it's this piece and other pieces that they're going to contribute to this.
I will say, as you're saying, that the Patriots seem like they're always the team to beat. I think as in a couple of years now, that's going to start to fall down, and you're going to see the trend. I think the Jaguars are going to take that spot. They really impressed me last year, especially with their incredible defense.
It's so young, too.
Extremely young. They have a bright future ahead. I see that kind of transcending into something like that. Obviously their quarterback situation's a little iffy. But I really think their defense is going to carry them into that team where they're the team to beat every year.
I agree with that. Like, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and the Jaguars beat my Pittsburgh Steelers in the divisional round, and they really impressed me because I'll admit I was like anybody else. I did not expect that out of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but you're talking about how young that team is, and you just look at what they're capable of. I agree 100% with what you're saying. I think in the future they're going to be the team to beat. I think while Tom Brady's still around for the next 2-3 years, as I was saying before, I feel like it's still going to be them. But once he's gone, I feel like it shifts over to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the quarterback, I mean, it's just something you really need in a team, and that's something that always contributes into the offseason, guys. And this offseason so far, we haven't really got far along into it, but it's been crazy so far. And let's just start off with the biggest topic. I know everyone's just going to say it, Kirk Cousins. Where do you guys think Kirk Cousins' best landing spot will be?
I feel like New York Jets. I know I got 2 Jets fans right next to me, but the Jets were saying that they will do whatever it takes to get Kirk Cousins on their team, and I don't blame them at all. I think Kirk Cousins is a very great quarterback. He has a lot of potential in him. He's young, and I feel like the Jets will be definitely giving him the offer he needs to sign. I really feel like Jets are going to want him. I think he can. Jets, they're struggling a little bit. I feel like Kirk Cousins can definitely help turn that around. I feel like they could be good if he signs there.
The one landing spot for Kirk Cousins, which has intrigued me besides the Jets, would be Minnesota. They got extremely far last year. They almost went to the Super Bowl with their incredible defense. They have, great receivers, Stephon Diggs. If they can get a quarterback, because it seems like Case Keenum's not going to be returning.
A report came out the other day that they were unlikely to franchise tag him.
So I truly believe that would be a great spot for him to land. He is an incredible quarterback. He is capable of a lot of things. Especially he wasn't able to do much in Washington just because he didn't have a good team around him. He didn't have good weapons to use. If he were to go to the Jets, which would be very interesting, he would have decent receivers. Anunwa, who broke out 2015.
He was injured
or 2016.
for last season. Yeah,
last season. Robbie Anderson, who really broke out last season. And there's also been some talk about the Jets possibly landing Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, the thing about the Jets is they have a ton of cap. That's really what they kind of built around right now. They have a ton of cap. I know they just released Muhammad Wilkerson. Matt Forte retired. It's even more cap to build up on. But they said they would be willing to pay whatever it takes. For me, I mean, I am a Jets fan, but for me, I really don't see this. This is the best spot for him. I think either the Broncos or really the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals would be an awesome spot for him.
I actually did just see a report that the Cardinals dropped out of the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes.
Oh, they did?
I believe. Yeah, I saw that a couple of days ago.
Well, then, if not the Cardinals, then probably the Broncos, because one of those two teams. Because if you were to get Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, that strong defense, it's still top core. Everything's still intact.
Still from
all you need is that quarterback.
Yeah.
If you can get that quarterback, I mean, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is the best ever, but he's pretty good.
He is a solidified.
He's a solid quarterback. I mean, all I can say about for Kirk Cousins right now, he's going to break the bank. I mean, this guy is just going to probably be higher paid than
valuable player.
He's going to be higher paid than the next guy we're just about to talk about. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo. He was signed to the largest contract in the NFL, 5 years. It was a $137.5 million contract. This is the largest contract in the NFL. What do you guys think about this right here?
I'm going to start this off because I really think a lot of people are saying it's way too much, but I don't think that's true at all. And I know I might sound a little crazy from saying this, but I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the future of the NFL. I feel like you look at what he did for San Francisco, he went 6-0 after they started out, I don't even know, like 0-10, I think.
1-9, I think.
Yeah.
0-9?
1-9, yeah.
But I just feel like that just proves that there's no player that has as big of an impact on their team as Jimmy Garoppolo just completely turn around that season. You look at when the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl against the 49ers, actually, Joe Flacco signed a contract to become the highest paid player in the NFL, which I thought that was ridiculous because I don't think he was the one.
He's not elite.
He's not an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
That's just, he's not. And he became the highest paid, even though it wasn't really him, I don't think, having that big an impact on the team. But Jimmy Garoppolo, I feel like, is the opposite. I feel like he's the one changing this 49ers team. You look at, as soon as he came along, they completely turned around their season. So I think this contract is deserved.
I agree with you. A lot of people have been saying that this contract is ridiculous. I truly believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. He was the understudy of Tom Brady, which if you have that much experience with Tom Brady, there's no way at all that you could not succeed.
There has been a lot of second string quarterbacks under him that have fell, but I mean he's really one that's flourished.
He has. He's learned a lot from him. He's been able to produce. I mean, he went 6-0 with a team that was awful. He didn't have that much around him, but he was able to make deal with what he had, and it was an incredible end to the 49ers season
and
last year.
His first 2 plays with the 49ers, the second play was a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's start right there. Yeah. I mean, he was already good, and another acquisition that's happened in the league. I mean, right before the Super Bowl, Alex Smith was traded to the Redskins in exchange for Kendall Full, the corner, 3rd-round pick, and Russell Wilson signed with the Yankees. Marcus Peters was traded to the Rams. The Chiefs received I believe they received a 2nd-round pick in the 2019 draft, and then they received a 4th-round pick for this year's draft. Blake Bortles signed his extension, 3 years, $54 million with the Jags. I wanted to ask you guys, out of all the topics we've just talked about, what do you think is the best, most effective transaction out of all those?
I'll start it off. I was very surprised, but I was surprised but not shocked when the Jaguars signed Blake Bortles to that huge contract. Because, like I just said earlier, I think the Jaguars are going to be the team to beat, like the Patriots are now. Blake Bortles, he did not disappoint in the playoffs. He was a very solid quarterback. Some throws he wasn't able to hit, but for the most part, I would say that a lot of the main reason that I thought they lost to the Patriots, and we were saying on how great their defense was, a lot of that I would blame onto the defense. Against the Steelers, they almost lost that game. It was a 45-40.
It was a close game.
It was a close game, but it was in the 40s.
45-43.
Without Blake Bortles as your quarterback, I don't know who else you would have to win that game.
The only reason we did this on the other episode of the Extra Point, I think the only reason they really lost that game in the 4th quarter because they came conservative and they didn't really do the same strategy they stuck with, unlike the Philadelphia Eagles who went all-out attack on them. I mean, for me, I think the best transaction, or just out of all those we've just named, was, I think the most thing you have to talk about is Russell Wilson with the Yankees. I mean, I know it's no one's really gonna talk about that. I mean, people are thinking it's nothing, but I mean,
I was so confused when I saw it.
What if though? What if he decides he doesn't want to play football? I mean, what if he's holding out and saying what if he doesn't want to play for the Seahawks anymore? He wants more money because Derek Carr is getting paid more money than him. Jimmy Garoppolo just got paid more money than him. Kirk Cousins is about to break the bank. What if he's holding out for the Seahawks? Because this guy is the whole team. I thought he could have been the MVP this year. I mean, they went 9-7. They just met on the playoffs for the first time in a while. I mean, I think this is the biggest thing, almost the biggest thing, in the offseason. Is this something people should be talking about? I think, more people should be talking about this, and the Seahawks, they should be watching out.
The one that surprised me the most was Alex Smith going to the Redskins. And I feel like Alex Smith is great. I really have always liked Alex Smith, even when he was on the 49ers. And that's kind of where I begin this shocking me. Mm-hmm. He was on the 49ers, and they were having a lot of success. And I believe he got injured. They put in
towards the end of the season. And then
Kaepernick came in. And then Kaepernick didn't even win the Super Bowl, but they kept him in instead of Alex Smith, and Alex Smith was traded to the Chiefs. So I kind of thought that was a mistake to begin with. I thought Alex Smith was better than Colin Kaepernick, but then he was doing great for the Chiefs. The Chiefs became a great team.
He just couldn't finish in the playoffs.
That's true, but they did become a great team. Mm-hmm. So I figured that the Chiefs would kind of learn from what the 49ers did, that this guy, he's good.
Well, they did draft Patrick Mahomes for a reason, though.
They did.
Yeah, but at the same time, I just don't feel like getting rid of Alex Smith was really the right choice. I feel like he has so much potential.
I agree with you there, but a lot of that, I don't think the Chiefs have much space in cap, and he was going to be a free agent coming up, so they wanted to get something out of him before he had to leave KC.
Go ahead.
But for the Redskins, that's a huge acquisition.
Yeah,
you completely shifted, because I thought that Kirk Cousins was going to get franchise tagged. I didn't think that he was going to wind up being a free agent. After I saw that, I was like, wow, Kirk Cousins is on
Well,
the market.
I didn't think he was going to get franchise tag. This has been going on too long. I mean, I just didn't see it happen. I did agree with. I don't agree with what you're saying. The Chiefs had a plan all this time long for Patrick Mahomes and stuff. They did trade away Marcus Peters. They are doing something. You should see something out of the Chiefs later on. But I mean, a lot of that has to do with they're building their young quarterback for the Chiefs, and that has to do with coaching. So, guys, I want to ask you real quick, what do you think was the best coaching hire so far in this offseason?
I'd go with Matt Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's, with the experience that you have with Bill Belichick, it's very similar to how Garoppolo is right now. He took a team that was awful and brought them and won their last 6 games. I think it could be very similar with Matt Patricia. You have Matt Stafford as your quarterback. Mm-hmm. Golden Tate's still there, so I think they have some stuff to work with, and their defense is decent. It's not too bad. I think that was probably the best coach hire so far.
I think for me, I would either have to go with Steve Wilkes for the Cardinals or Frank Wright for the Colts. And I mean, they had Josh McDaniels pull out. Then they had Frank Wright come in from the Philadelphia Eagles, their former offensive coordinator. And I think this is something we have to look out for, because Chuck Pagano's been holding that team for so long, and they haven't been able. They kind of just fell off a cliff. I think this is big for the Colts. I think getting Frank Wright, the offensive coordinator, former offensive coordinator of the Eagles, is big. I think this will definitely help them, because he and John DeFilippo of the Eagles helped change the culture around there, form Carson Wentz in a way that made this team go. I had to say that offense was still in the Super Bowl. I know you guys can't disagree with that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I think this is something that city has been looking forward to for a while.
I'm with Jack on this. I'm also thinking Matt Patricia. I feel like Detroit, as Jack was saying before, they have a lot of offensive weapons, and I feel like as long as Matt Patricia can use them the right way, that's the greatest coaching transaction. I feel like Golden Tate, as he was saying, and of course Matt Stafford. Mm-hmm. And I also really like Theo Riddick, the Detroit's running back.
Yeah.
I feel like he's very overlooked, and I think he has a lot of potential. So those offensive weapons, I think, are what Matt Patricia is going to make out of Detroit.
Well, the thing I'm excited with the Colts for next year, obviously they have a new head coach. I'm very excited because I believe Andrew Luck's going to be back. Mm-hmm. I'm extremely excited to see what's going to happen, because a lot of athletes, after extensive surgery and timeout due to injury like that, a lot of them don't recover. I'm very interested to see what Andrew Luck can do.
I'm very interested to see for the Colts, that GM, what he's going to do, because that offensive line's always been bad for Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
And that defense, I've never seen it as good. I've always seen it as like a weak kind of
Mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre defense. It's never been strong. So for me, I think this hire is going to be really good, and I could see them prevailing and building for the future. Guys, for our last segment here, Lacey Sports. We're going to get some talk about our own school right now. I mean, Carl Swenson on SportsCenter. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. He was a buzzer beater, and he got on the SportsCenter top 10. What did you guys think about that?
I was surprised. I was just scrolling through Instagram. I just look. I'm like, oh, that's Lacey. I was very surprised. I mean, obviously congratulations to Carl. That's a huge honor to be on SportsCenter. That was a very good game, and I was very impressed with their victory in that game.
Just awesome for Carl. My friend told me about it. He's like, "Did you hear about Carl Swenson being on SportsCenter?" And I'm like, "Wait, really? What?" And he showed me the video, and that's just awesome for. I've known Carl for a long time now, and it's just really cool to see him be on SportsCenter. It's a great honor.
Congrats to Carl. I mean, that was just nuts when I saw that. I mean, it was a buzzer beater. They hit it at the last second.
Yeah.
I mean, that was crazy, and I think that was really cool. Making on SportsCenter top 10. I mean, what else could you ask for?
Yeah.
For your basketball team, that's pretty nice. And talking about basketball, I mean, we all did basketball. We all commented for basketball. Mm-hmm. Let's get a girls or both girls and guys review. What do you guys think was like the season review? How do you guys think the season went?
For the boys, I thought it went well. I mean, obviously, getting past the first round of states is always a huge thing. The girls, they played well throughout the year. I believe they got through the first round of states too. Yeah, so I mean, I thought they both had decent years. Obviously, with Carl capping it off with
And we talked about it a lot while commentating. The main thing I thought was like the aggression,
Yeah.
bring it up
Yeah.
once again. But that was like mainly the girls' team, and I feel like that's really what kept them in a lot of games. So I feel like that's the main thing that helped them to be a better team.
Yeah, credit to the coaching. I mean, for both teams, I mean, they've really brought the basketball teams real far. They've really built a lot, and I think in the coming years, for the girls especially, because most of them are juniors, and for next year they're going to be even stronger. So I mean, for the basketball, I mean, for the whole season, they did a really good job. I mean, with the girls, they're aggressing, stealing the balls. I mean, the boys shooting crazy shots, getting all over the place. I mean, it's just been a crazy season for basketball, and I just thought, I had a fun time doing it. It was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it was pretty cool.
All right, so final thoughts, guys?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. But, I mean, the NFL, I'm very excited for next year. It's going to be an interesting year to see where Kirk Cousins lands. Obviously, that's the huge news, and I'm very excited to see what the Jaguars have to bring as well because, again, signing Blake Bortles, keeping a lot of that same team that got to the AFC Championship game, and just everything pretty much surrounding the NFL right now is very exciting.
The main thing I was thinking about was the whole Russell Wilson thing going to New York. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I actually showed Mr. Sotero, engineering and design teacher here at Lacey, and he couldn't believe it either. Like, he looked back at it like 5 times, and he's like, did this really happen? But then, like, you look at him in his first batting practice, he has 6 home runs. So I'm really excited to see what he does.
Which 6 home runs was more, I believe, than Didi Sanchez hit. So
Look at that,
Didi
yeah.
Sanchez hit. So.
My final thing, guys, just wanted to congratulate the girls bowling team for having a wonderful season. I mean,
Absolutely.
they did a stellar job.
Yes.
Big
Yeah.
win for them.
Just want to say good luck to all the spring sports that are going to head out next week. Lacrosse, volleyball, track, all the other sports, golf, all the other sports. I just want to say good luck to you guys. But
Look forward to a great season.
yeah, look forward to a great season, guys. But that's going to wrap it up for the Extra Point. For Dan McClung, Jack Crowell, I'm your host, Jacob Serrano. We'll see you here next time on the Extra Point.